So hello, good morning all. So let's wait for 2 minutes, then we will start today's session. So today I have another lecture at 9:30. So we will conduct our session up to 9:30. So from next week we will shift our lecture on Wednesday or Thursday. I think so. Thursday is possible from 2 to 3. And there is one more announcement that your mid-semester examination has been postponed. So once it some date will be there, then I will inform you about that. So let's start our session. So today we are going to start man-machine interface. So previously we have completed different types of ADC, different types of DAC. We have studied different types of computer control systems. We have studied hierarchical control system, centralized control system, and distributed control system. So these three control systems we have covered in the last session. And previously, before that, we have completed different types of ADC and DAC, which is used in data acquisition. So we have completed up to that. So now there is a new topic we are going to start that is known as man-machine interface. So it is very important to view the data on machines. So whatever machines are working, so that should be controlled by some operator. So that operator has to view all the details on some screen. So if you see the previously monitoring system, so you can see here it's a very big monitoring system, and he has to observe all the things on the different analog machines. So whenever you are measuring the things on analog machines, then there will be a chances of uh, error. So due to those errors, there may be a chances of production of faulty product. So to avoid that situation, we have converted those monitoring systems into modern interface. So you can see we are having two types of modern interface. So previously the interface is very big, but now if you see we are having only one PC or one laptop screen where you can monitor all those things. So we are having five types of display. We have already covered those displays in distributed control system. So in DCS we have already covered the different types of displays. So we have learned the five displays. So we use those displays to view the various information which is running on your system or in industry. So what are the various things which we are going to use in HMI? So what are the various functionality of your human machine interface? So there are various functionalities. So the first functionality is the graphical object state presentation. So as you see on the right hand side, this is a graphical representation where you can see the different operations which is going on in your plant, and you can see the different details of those operations. So here, if you see at the bottom, we are having pump, and here at the top, we are having different fans. We are having a tank over here on the top. We are having alarms, login, info, and different monitoring values are representing on the text box. So this kind of a screen is known as graphical object state presentation. Then second thing, we are having the list. List means you can just click on the list and you can see the different number of inputs and outputs connected to your devices or in your industry. The different inputs and outputs are available. So you will able to see the various sensors, various actuators which are connected to your control system. So that is means of list. Third thing is known as reports. So reports means you can just on a single click you are able to generate the report of a day, a month, or a year. So depend upon the complexity of your system, you can able to generate the different kinds of reports. So that is the different things. That is the first functionality of your human machine interface. The second functionality is operator command handling chain. So we are having a window over there. So here you can see we are having this kind of screen will be there. Now, if you want to change the speed of your pump, or if you want to change the speed of your fan, or you want to open your valve, or if you want to close your valve, so that's various kind of instructions will be there, which you can apply over there. So that there is a screen, so you can click on the object and you can provide the instruction to that industry. So these are the various things you can do using various commands. So set point. Set points is a very important thing. So we have already seen the set points will be viewable on your graphical display. So set point is a point where you want to maintain your operation. So say for example, your operation is maintaining a temperature. So you will set a temperature in a range, or it can be a maximum temperature you can specify. So say for example, you have defined a set point between 60 to 80 degrees centigrade. So that means you want to maintain the temperature of your furnace around 60 to 80 degrees centigrade. Say for example, if you are having a rotor, so you want to maintain the speed between 100 to 200 rpm, then you can set the set point between 100 and 200. So these are the various set points you can set using different commands. So the commands are very easy here. So you can just click on that and just you can specify the value. So all the in multisim, you are just clicking on the object and you are changing the value of that object. Like if it is resistor, just you are changing the value of the resistance and unit. So these three things you are specifying. This will be very much similar to that thing, but here it will be a bigger object. So this kind of things you can handle using operator command. The third is alarm and events, recorded specified changes and operator action. So first one is alarms. Alarms means whenever you have specified some set points and your temperature has exceeded from your set point, then what will happen? There will be a alarm over there. So due to that alarm, you will able to know that there is a malfunctionality in your system. So by observing that, you can control that malfunctionality. So how you can control the malfunctionality? By specifying the different set points, or by switching off manually, or any other action you can take. Then second one is event. So say for example, there is a conveyor belt there where you are counting the number of objects over there, and you want to stop when the objects count is 100. So that is an event. So event means the number of counts has been completed, so the event has been executed. So that is the meaning of event. Or all the things will be recorded and you can see all the records. Fourth functionality is the history database. So here we are taking a or keeping a record of all the process values which are going in your system. So we will store all the records, so that anyone who is there in the company, he can view the records and he can analyze those records and suggest the various optimization techniques to enhance the production. So the main objective in a industry is to enhance the production. Other things are okay. So if you are having a production rate of 100, if it is a batch process, so your count will be in numbers. So if it is a batch process, then count will be in numbers. So if your number of products is 100 and you want to optimize up to 200, then he need to see the various events which is occurring in your industry. So then only he can suggest. So that is the thing, and he can manage the manpower and all those things. So that's why history database is very important. Then fifth one is logging. So he will keep the log of all the operations of an automation system. So he will record all the things like if some command has been given by an operator, so it will make a log over there. So like every software, which is any software you will take, he will make a log. Like in multisim, if you press run button, then also there will be a log, or you can say there will be a command which is having executed, and that execution command will be having a timestamp. So with a timestamp, everything will be recorded on your human machine interface. So you can able to access their slow report, and you can see who has manipulated that, or who has manipulated a set point, and which is having the access of those things. So you can observe all those things. So that you can easily identify where the problem is there. So that is the fifth functionality. Then sixth is the generated incident report. So if you are having some issues or some malfunctioning has happened in your plant, so you want to generate a report why that malfunctionality has been occurred in your plant. So for viewing that, we are having a reporting system which will generate your report, and it will specify all the set points and all those variables which are running in your system. So these are the various functionality of your human machine interface. And most importantly, this question will be always there in your GT examination. So last 2 years, this question has been asked in 4 papers also. So you should prepare this question. So the operator workplace is having three main functionality. One is current state, second one is alarm and events, and third one is trends and history. So first means current state means you are able to see what is happening in your plant. So that will be the first objective when you are working in a industry. So in working in an industry means you want to see what is currently happening in your plant. So that is the first task, or you can say the function of your operator workplace. So your HMI should able to display that thing. So it should able to display the current state of your plant. The second is alarm and event. So you can see here where everything is represented in different colors. So the color is specified on the basis of the urgency. Like if something is having more urgency, or it is having across its set point, or it is very nearer to set point. So if it is nearer to set point, it will be marked in orange. If it is crossed its set point, then it will mark in red. If it is in between the set point and it is very stable, then it will be marked in uh, green color, or it will something slighter higher than their set point, then it will be in yellow color. So accordingly, we will generate the different alarms, and we will see the event. So how the system flow is there. So if your any input is triggering other operations, so all those things you can see here in this event. So we are having an event process, or you can see the event hierarchy over there, where you can see the dependency of the different events of your system. So you can see that thing. And third one is trends and history. So this is a graphical representation of your plant. So here you can see the various values of your sensors, actuators, and all those data which are running in your plant. So that you can take a proper decision why there is a less production, or what are the different faults in your plant. So this graph will give you the following details. So we have already studied trend graph. So that graph is similar kind of thing here. Now the third is what is alarm and event. So sometimes it is also called as A and E. So it considers change occurring in the plant process or the control system that worth recording. Operator action configuration changes. So say for example, you are running some process and there will be some issues are there and you want to change the process, so you can do that thing. So alarm and event will be used for that purpose. And the second thing, that recorded changes can be of three kinds. First one is informative, second one is warning, third one is blocking. Informative means just you will give the information like time. production terminated as 11.09. So that is a time. So here you don't want to take any action. So that is a informative record changes. Second one is warning. So here we will get a warning like plant could stop or be damaged if no corrective action takes. So soon. So this kind of message will be a warning. Like in your laptop also you are getting some warning messages. So these are known as warning messages. So here there will be no action taken by your system. It will be taken by you only. The third one is blocking. So the controller will stop automatically. Like it's a printer. If your paper has been jammed in your printer, then the process will be stopped. So the control, this can be defined as the controller took action to protect the plant for the further operation is prevented until the reason is clear. So like in your printer, paper jam is there. Now, if you don't remove the jam paper, then your printer will not work. So you have to remove the paper, then only your printer is going to work. So this kind of record changes are known as blocking. So these three are the record changes. Then what are the various things which will trigger your alarm? So how your alarm is going to be triggered by the various process. So we will see the first is the binary changes of your process variable, individual bits. So some digital process are will be going there. So that digital process will be triggering your alarm, like on off switch will be there, or some condition will be there, like this condition is true, then alarm should be there. So this kind of known as binary changes, where your statement is only true or false. So apart from that, you will not having any other condition. So that kind of thing is known as binary changes. Second is reception of the analog variable that exceeds the threshold. So we are having a sub upper and lower limit, and if it is exceeding those limits, then there will be a trigger of alarm. Third is reception of a alarm message. So from PLC, we have generated some message that this is a malfunction because your PLC is a controller. So it can generate some interrupts. So that interrupts will be sent to your PC that this IO is not working properly. Then you will display or trigger a alarm. Fourth is computation of the operator workstation. That means you have viewing this graph, the last trend and history, you are viewing the current state of your plant, and by viewing that thing, you are computing that this kind of uh, uh, this kind of issues will be there if your plant has not stopped or if we do not change the process variable. So that kind of computation will be there by the operator workstation. Fourth is calendar actions. So say for example, we want to maintain our system or our plant at in the month of May. So that is the calendar action. So these are the various things which will trigger your alarm. So it's a similar kind of thing like we want to update your PC at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. every day. So this kind of thing is known as calendar action. Now we see the trends. So this is a trend allowed to follow the behavior of the plant and monitor the possible exercise. So it will show the how your plant is behaving or how the different process variables are varying with respect to time, so that you can take the proper decision. That is the first use of trends. Second is the monitor the process data and store the historical database. So if someone came to suggest you that if you want to increase your productivity, you can opt for this kind of system. So he need to see the previous database. So the trend graph will restore all the previous database so that he can generate the report and he can give to that person, and that person will read those report and he will suggest you whether this kind of devices will be going to work or not. So this will be use of trend. Then we will go for historian. So historian will keeps your relevant data at the lower granularity than the trend recorded. So it will have a very fine information about your data. So everything will be there. It is very precise data will be there in historian, but it will be but with a very large quantity. So it is having a very high sample rate, so that you can store a very high data. Data from the different sources is aggregated on the one database, normally using the data compression to keep the storage at the low storage cost low. So normally what it will do, it will collect the data from the different systems, or you can say the different processes, and it will store all those data in zip files, say for example. Because if you see the zip file, it is having the less storage area as compared to the without zip file. So it will store in the zip format. So the work of historian will be like this. So these are the various parts of your HMI. Data are analyzed according to the calculation engines and to retrieve the matrices. Different matrices are there, like performance indicators, quality monitoring, analysis of situation. So say for example, we are having two batches. So like it's a pharmaceutical company, so we have produced two batches. Now first batch has very higher quality than the second batch, or batch A is having a higher quality. So what is the situation over there, so that the quality of A product A is higher than the product B. So that is known as situations, analysis of situations. So analog and quality of quality monitoring means you will see between the difference, quality difference of the batches. So that is known as quality monitoring. There the performance indicators are there, like your production rate, your quality. So these are the various performance indicators of your product. So this will be measured using the calculation engine. So this calculation is engine is nothing like it's a Ohm law, V is equal to IR. So we are having a software there which are computing all those values on the basis of your primary variable, and it will be get stored. Then we are having a internal memory. So that internal memory is used for read and write, and we are having a external internal non-volatile memory to compute the data. For the computation purpose, we are using non-volatile memory, and for storing purpose, we are using volatile memory, non-volatile memory, and for storing purpose, we are using volatile memory. And internal registers are used to compute the various results. So we will stop here because I have to take the another lecture. So we are having other thing also, elements of operator workstations. These are the various things. So we will cover this different things in the next session. So who is absent today? Viren, Sahib, Sunny, Soumya, Rageshwari, Kushbu, Kalpesh, Jason, Jayesh, Raj. Who is absent? Rageshwari?
पता नहीं सर।
टोटल
सर
16 है. हाँ.
अच्छा सर, ये मिड क्यों पोस्टपोन हो गया? कॉलेज खुल
नहीं
रही है
पता.
क्या अगले महीने?
खुल जाएगी शायद अगस्त में, सितंबर में तो खुल जानी चाहिए.
हम्म।
One thing you can do, you can type your enrollment number. So I will see that. Type your enrollment number.
Type your enrollment number.
Once you type your enrollment number, you can leave the meeting. So that I come to know that you have completed your enrollment number. Only 9 people have 9.